But now let's get to the part about, is there a pig buried here at Forest Lawn, Hollywood Hills?
I know you gonna dig this. Get funky with me.
But is there? What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? Here I'm at Forest Lawn, Hollywood Hills. You've seen me here before. If you see my channel, if you're new to my channel, thank you for clicking on the video. Now, Forest Lawn, Hollywood Hills. When I come here, there are always deer, rabbits, coyotes, but a lot of deer. I haven't seen any today. If you're gonna come to Forest Lawn, and I mean, part of it is the beauty, not just all the celebrities that are here, but the beauty of it. Just when you come in the front end, just look to your right, to the mountains on the side. That's those hills leading up. That's where you see the most deer ever. Now today, of course, I've not seen any, but they're all over this place. If you've seen some of my older Forest Lawn videos, deer everywhere. And it's appropriate that I'm talking about deer because I'm here to talk about the fact that, well, not the fact. See, there's a gentleman buried here by the name of Frank Inn. He's a famous animal trainer. Frank Inn was a trainer for so many shows and movies. Benji, Addams Family, Petticoat Junction, Green Acres, Arnold the Pig on Green Acres. Now, after school, growing up, I watched like Brady Bunch, Different Strokes, a whole bunch of things. Green Acres, Mr. Ed, that's a little bit before. I don't even know if they had it on after school. But of course, I heard of them. I knew Mr. Ed was about a horse. I knew Green Acres had a pig named Arnold. And the story goes that Frank Inn, his trainer, had a special casket made with little pockets for urns. And those urns would contain the ashes of all of his beloved animals. Beloved animals. Beloved animals. Now, is it true? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you that this guy, myself as an animal lover, he really loved animals. Really, really, really loved animals. And he had an incredible life. Frank Inn, okay, he was born in Indiana. He's got, when I was reading about this guy, there were so many, well, I'll get to it. Just some odd things. Quite a life Mr. Inn led. 17 years old, he left Indiana to move out here to Hollywood to seek fame and fortune. He started working as a maintenance man at MGM in Culver City. And one day while he was in Culver City, he was run over by a car accident, and he was pronounced dead. Now, of course, this has happened before. People pronounce dead, they come back right away, you know, like they're revived, that sort of thing. His body was actually given to a mortician school to train students. One of the students noticed that he was still warm. Frank was still alive. So Frank didn't die. But his body made it all the way to an embalming. I'm laughing a little bit because that is wild. Made it all the way to an embalming school, but he was still alive. But he did have severe injuries, and he was in a wheelchair for a while. And he was given a little puppy named Jeep. That was the first animal he ever trained. The little guy, little pup Jeep, he was incontinent. That was the first animal he ever trained. So then he returned to MGM, and there was an animal trainer on the lot, and he gave the animal trainer tips on how to train dogs. He gave the animal trainer tips. And then he went to work as his assistant. He he brought along his dog Jeep. So, various animals like, let me read this list I've got here. Hold on, let me get my phone. Give me 1 second. Sorry. I should have my. So, Asta, the thin man, but he eventually worked with Paul the dog, who was the dog in Lassie Comes Home. And Orangey the cat, he won a Patsy Award for that. Patsy Award is Picture Animal Top Star of the Year. So it's like the Animal Oscars. Did you know they had those? They do, or did. They're in. Now, Orangey played the cat in Breakfast at Tiffany's. How crazy is that? Audrey Hepburn, George Papard. He also did Bernadette the dog, who's Cleopatra on The People's Choice, which was a TV show, I believe, or a movie. No, it was a TV show. And Arnold on Green Acres. All of those animals that you saw in Beverly Hillbillies, he trained all of them. Then he trained a chimp, he trained a tiger, and Benji. This was probably his most famous dog. His dog was named Higgins. Now Higgins played Benji, was first on Petticoat Junction, then originated the role of Benji on the big screen. And then Higgins' daughter took over the role. So Higgins, the dog, had a daughter, and she took over the role of Benji in subsequent films. But now let's get to the part about, is there a pig buried here at Forest Lawn, Hollywood Hills? So the pig, Arnold Ziffel, on Green Acres. Did you know it's very, very difficult to train a pig? Pigs cannot be told what to do. They cannot be reprimanded. Because if you do so, the pig will shun you and won't respond to what you want it to do. And it won't even take food from you. A pig won't take food from you. You have to be very, very delicate when training a pig.
Today we're going to learn a new word, porcupine. It has nothing to do with you, Arnold. It isn't that kind of pork.
Now, Arnold was actually played by a piglet. And piglets, of course, grow into adult pigs. And at least one piglet per year had to be trained for the role of Arnold during the 6 years that Green Acres was in production. In most episodes, Arnold was played by a female piglet. The piglet was paid $250 per day and had a union contract. Arnold received a great deal of fan mail from children as well as adults. And there's a class of 6th graders in Ohio who wrote with a pledge to stop eating pork chops. Now these 6th graders probably forgot about, say, bacon and ham. But they were doing their part, but not eating pork chops. But there's more to a pig than just the chops. So Franken, he had a close relationship with each of the animals that he trained. And as each lived out their life and died, he would have them cremated, with the intention that when he died, he would have the remains buried in his casket. And that was going to be here at Forest Lawn, Hollywood Hills. And they had a deal in place right here. They had a deal that would be what would happen. But alas, rules, laws changed over the years, and it wasn't able to be brought to fruition. So there are no animals buried with Franken, or at least animal remains buried. It was due to restrictions prohibiting the burial of animal remains in the cemetery. I assume his daughter has the ashes now. She seems like a lovely person. I read some interviews with her online. And sadly, he did not have his wish fulfilled, but I would assume his animals' ashes are well taken care of right now by his family, his beloved animals. I do wonder, however, once the family realized the animals could not be buried within the animal remains, if they buried them in the same casket, the custom-made casket with the little pockets for the urns. That'd be interesting to know. I'm not sure. So if you look up obituaries of Franken, a lot of them say that Benji, the cat from Breakfast at Tiffany's, and Arnold are buried with him, but that's not true. So there are laws against that. I'm assuming pretty fast and loose with the laws in maybe some of the smaller towns or some other states and stuff. I don't think it's, I think sometimes you can be buried with your pet if you want. I mean, there's a guy buried in his car, and especially if it's ashes. But they do have rules about that, about you can spread the ashes over somebody's grave if you know, something like that. People do that. But usually you see pet cemeteries. I've been to a few pet cemeteries on my channel. Pet cemeteries are separate. But I think if you want to be, if your pet passed away before you, the ashes, why not? I think it should be allowed. I think it's crazy. You know? I have the ashes of one of my previous pets, and I would love, when I'm gone, bring them with me, of course. But yeah, I was reading, this guy really, really loved animals, and really, I mean, he seemed to train them with love. I mean, of course, we know the horror stories of how animals maybe were treated on set back in the day. And trust me, as someone who loves animals, it tears you apart to think of animals being treated cruelly on set. That's why CGI animals, I'm kind of okay with that now in movies. But this guy seemed to really, really love animals. And it's also, he had urns and urns. He would cry and would be very upset when any animal passed away. He took in animals. Any sick animal he took in. At one point, he was spending $400 a day. And this is, 70s, 80s, 60s, $400 a day on pet food alone. And he would give away pets to people who wanted a pet for free. He'd take in sick animals, all that sort of thing. So this is a good guy. And he's buried somewhere right around here. I'm not sure where he is. But again, he's buried without his pets.
See you.
Mrs. Maxwell! Mrs. Maxwell!
What's the matter, Martha?
Arnold's eating my lunch!
Arnold, you're a disruptive influence in this class. And if I have any more trouble with you, you're going to the principal's office.
Well, we're doing this together, guys, because I'm supposed to be right near where Franken is. Sorry, that was a step down a little bit. But I don't see him. Somebody wrote on my channel recently, why don't you just start your videos right at the grave and know where you're going? And I wrote back, no. I would prefer to find the grave. I know roughly where it is, thanks to Find the Grave usually, or if I go and ask at an office. But I like to walk to the grave, and I like the viewers to come along with me. Show you how to get to the grave. And my first view is your first view always of the grave. Now, where is Frank? He should be right, he literally should be right here. Well, I just took a quick look and I forgot he's buried under the name Frank Freeman, not Franken, but it does say Franken on his grave. And he's buried with his beloved wife, Juanita, who passed away before him. Should be right here. Maybe I should have figured this out before I started the video. Hi. Should be right here. This is crazy. Well, that was ridiculous. I walked by Frank's and Juanita's grave many, many times just now. And here he is, like I said, with his beloved wife, Juanita. So, see, you can't really see past that tree, is the white church. Up there is the red church. Come along, go past the white church where you come in, make a right, your first right, so because there is another road out that way. First right, look for that bench across the street, right there. Walk directly across about 13 rows up. And here's Frank and Juanita. This is the stone for both of them that I'm going to leave here. So the myth that they have animals buried with them here are untrue. I kind of was hoping it was true. The Arnold at least was here, but no, it's a myth. I wonder, however, if the casket, especially made casket with the urns, is the one, because he was a bigger man, so it had to be a big casket. I think he was close to 400 pounds, so they had to have an extra size casket. And if you're wondering, so he died in 2002. It's 84, 86 years old, like I said. And she died 6 years earlier. And if you're wondering how he died, I know that he did have diabetes throughout his parts of his life. But I'm not exactly sure if that's exactly what killed him at the end, but he was 86. That's a long life. There he is. Franken, animal trainer.
All right, now who did that? I might have known.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. That was Frank Inn and his wife Juanita, and no Arnold, no Benji, no animals here. Are there any others? Other graves? I'll take a look. I'll see. I'm always looking for interesting graves, and this is one of the more interesting ones I found. And a special shout out to my aunt who was talking to me about Green Acres and Arnold. And I looked up back a few months ago. I wonder where he's buried. And Mr. Ed, I was looking up animals, and then I found this story. I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to talk about that because I find it interesting. And rest in peace, Frank and Juanita. Rest in peace, Arnold, Benji, Lassie, all of them, for real. Yeah, man's best friend. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. I love you all. Peace out.